Contractors of Colorado. It's your host, Andrew Lavrins, here with another Contractors of Colorado podcast. Before we jump in and get started, shout out to our sponsor, Builders Outlet. Cabinets, doors, windows, trim, everything you need. They're your material supplier in Denver, right next to Empower Stadium. So tell them that Contractors of Colorado sent you. They'll take care of you. And also shout out to the Business Foundry. It's an entrepreneurship center here in Lone Tree. Anything you need as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, please come in, meet everybody, and see what it's like to have a community around you, kind of crossing those things off your to-do list. A great, great resource center. So let's get started. Darrien, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
So you're with Here to Serve, your handyman service. You are our preferred handyman in the South region. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Darrien Pino, owner and operator of Here to Serve. And we are a handyman service. And a little bit about me is grew up in the trades and had a lot of different trades work as far as tile, drywall, demo, all the stuff. So that's kind of like a little bit of my experience. But as far as who I am, I'm a believer in Christ, and that's how we lead our company as well. And we serve abundantly, and that is not just in our business, but in our communities, and as a husband, as a father. And yeah, I have happily married to my wife Hannah, and I have 2 kids. One is 3. It's a girl, and her name is Autumn. And then my boy is going to be 8 months, and his name is Ezra. So that's a little bit about me.
It's fantastic, man. I also have a 3-year-old. We've shared many battle stories of what that's like. But congratulations on the family and happy, healthy business as well. It's great to have you on the podcast.
Happy to be here.
So, handyman service, you talked about your experience kind of growing up around the trades. When did this all come together? When did you start Here to Serve?
So yeah, we started Here to Serve at the end of 2022. So we're going into year 3, and we saw a need in the industry as far as handyman services. Had a few people in my community that got taken advantage of as far as, give us money up front and we'll be back for the services. And then they take off.
Yep.
And I was like, well, we have the skill set. We have the technology, right?
That's right.
So we have the skill set. We have some tools. It's an opportunity to serve, not only serve, but a way to empower the community. So we have a couple youngsters that are in high school that on their breaks, they come in, they work alongside us to learn some things as well. So we're real big on ownership and teaching our guys that are working with us to take ownership. And we do our best to pay them as a 1099 and help them start their LLC and even pass off clients to them.
Yeah,
so.
It's really amazing. We've talked a lot about your mission, but also the more business side, the structure of it. The men you're employing are all people who have been through their own challenges. Is that something you want to speak about a little bit?
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, we have skilled guys that are there to complete the job in a professional way, but we bring guys along that are struggling or have struggled in the past. From the street to their feet is what we always we preach.
Yeah.
And so we're working with guys that are in low income housing, guys that are at a working man shelter, or even those that are still homeless but working towards getting established.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's we're big on second chances around here. As an organization, the trades are not always an area where people, you grew up thinking that you wanted to be a drywall framer or someone doing roofing or even handyman work.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an honest living, and it's something that you can turn your life around just by picking up some tools and learning a skill set. So kudos to you for having the foresight of, man, this is a group that needs the help, and you're going to be the one in the community to do that. So thanks for doing that, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And it's not me. It was one decision that I made consistently, because I experienced homelessness and struggles, addictions. Everyone struggles with something. And it was one of those things where I have a heart to serve back. I wouldn't call them a community, but people that are stuck in those situations, because I was in that situation, and it was just one consistent decision that pulled not only me out, but my family and the trajectory of my family as well. So I wanted to share that with as many people that are willing to, receive a hand up, not a handout.
Absolutely. Sometimes all it takes is one opportunity and capitalizing on it. So again, I'm going to give you your kudos. Well done. I know it doesn't seem like it's you, but it's you. It's deep down. It's a core value of the business. So it's awesome. Handyman services. Tell us a little bit more about what you all do.
Yeah. The question is more like, what don't we do? But we interior, exterior repairs. So for the exterior repairs, we dabble with siding, as far as, your hardy backer siding, your vinyl siding, soffits, fascias. We do a lot of exterior doors and porches, decks. Repair work, I want to say, really focus on repairs.
Yes.
We can do some of the bigger stuff, but we like to focus on repair works, because we're just an affordable option for most homeowners.
Yeah.
Interior, baseboards, trim, drywall patching. A lot of, we do a lot of build back, because in Colorado, it don't matter where you live. If you have a basement, there's water getting in it somehow. So we do a lot of build back, flooring, smaller projects. We do, at least in the past couple of years, we've done about three-quarter bath remodels from the floor up.
Yeah. Awesome. So just a little bit of everything. Yeah. True handyman. Getting the, what do they call them? The honey-do lists.
The honey-do is,
Walk in the door.
So general contractors call them punch lists.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, man, that's a honey-do list. Let's call your honey.
You're a married man. You recognize that list. That's awesome. We've talked a little bit about it, but what else sets you apart from other handyman companies?
I think the biggest thing that sets us apart from other handyman services is you can't be called here to serve and not serve, right? So the biggest thing is what I've noticed, and this is a consensus. These aren't my words. These are other clients' words. Is I had a handyman, and then once he started getting busy, he disappeared.
Yeah.
And so that's something that we really focus on. Is we have minimums, and those minimums are pretty minimal,
right?
But we show up and we take care of those smaller jobs, because something that we were really missing as far as the community, they're like, no one will show up to do just a garbage disposal. No one will show up just to take a look at it.
Right.
So that's something that really sets us apart, is we show up.
Yeah.
Whether it's small, medium, large, but also the care that goes into it. So everyone's used to a contractor going in their house, cutting up some things, leaving dust everywhere. We'll throw a drop cloth down if we're changing a switch. So that's what really sets us apart. A lot of our clients are like, "You vacuumed before you left." It was like, "Well, yeah." And we normally vacuum the whole area, even if we weren't working in the whole area, just because it's those little things go a long way.
You think it'd be more commonplace. It is such an enigma to me of you made a mess, clean it up, maybe?
Yeah.
And to go above and beyond. I think it lends into the next question I had on my mind is, what else are you doing that sets you apart in terms of your client satisfaction process? So as you went through our verification process, I got to learn a lot about that. That's one thing that if I were in your shoes today, one thing that I would want to get across to this audience is you are there to make sure that the homeowner is happy. And it's like that with any construction-based trade. Like, oh yeah, we're, at the end of the day, the customer is the most important. But for you, it almost feels like sometimes when the projects are smaller, they have one, they're getting scrutinized more. Maybe the homeowner does understand more about it, and you're under a microscope. And a lot of times you are in the house. So your process that you go through to make sure that everything is good to go before you walk out of that door, I was a big fan of. If you want to share it with the audience, that'd be great.
Yeah. So yeah, we're super relational. We believe that anyone could be your handyman, and meaning anyone could patch a hole, anyone could fix your garbage disposal. The difference between just anyone doing that and here to serve is the relationship aspect. So for example, if I get a call or a text message or an email, you're dealing with the owner operator first and foremost. And I'm normally on site within 48 hours doing a walkthrough. And after that walkthrough, during that walkthrough, we're building rapport, right? We're building relationship. I'm giving you my expertise. We end up, if I show up for a garbage disposal, by the end of the time, we've already walked through the whole house, and we got a wish list together of what could be,
And leaky floor.
Or we haven't even done a project yet, but it's just the relationship behind that that a lot of people. It's kind of uncommon in the industry, which they're used to the estimator or the salesman going and pitching,
Right,
walking out, and then random guys show up, do the job, leave it a mess, walk out,
invoice, yeah.
right? And so the difference is they're dealing with me, right? Owner operator. Sometimes it is me doing the project, and sometimes it's my guys doing the project, but I'm on site for the estimate, and depending on the size of the project, I'm on site first day. And that way we're just setting clear expectations.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest part, is setting those expectations. And then guys go in praying that they exceed expectations, which most times they do.
Right.
And then they get a follow-up from me, the owner operator, and then they get invoiced.
Right.
Right. And so that process is a little bit different than what most people are used to, because they're like, wait, you're the owner? Why are you here?
Right.
Right. Oh, wait, you're doing the estimate too? Oh, because I show up in handyman clothes every now and then, whatever the handyman garb is.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you're going to do it? And it's like, yeah. So it's just like, it takes that service to a whole different level.
Absolutely. Being intentional about your interactions with your clients, and being sure that, and it's almost like over communication. It's let them determine what your level of communication is going to be, and you're making yourself available. And this is the way you've structured the business. I want it to be this way, because if I'm involved in everything, one, there's less hiccups. We know construction, things are always going to happen. It's how do we respond when they happen? Well, if you're there, it makes that a little bit more streamlined and easier. So I'm a big fan of everything that you've got going on. That's really cool. In that fashion of taking care of a homeowner, right? At that point, they've already contacted you. They've already talked with you. You're now in their home. It's easy to develop should be easy to develop a relationship at that point.
Yeah.
We all know it's not for a lot of contractors. That's what best practice is. But in the meantime, what would you recommend to a homeowner, or to anybody else, a renter even could work, for any of these other people that have a project or several projects in their house that are looking at hiring a handyman? They haven't contacted you yet because they haven't found you. They're starting their search. What are the things that they should look for?
Yeah. So getting the list of priorities together. So definitely really knowing what you want to accomplish, and also the timing of when they want these things accomplished, and a budget.
Yeah.
Of what they want to spend, what they're willing to spend, and what it's going to cost.
Yeah.
Right. So having some kind of concept of what pricing is. And what I encourage people to do is, and it's kind of lost in communities, is ask your neighbor. Ask your neighbor if they've had this, baseboards done recently, if they've had flooring done recently, and ask them like, hey, what did that process look like? And if you don't mind me asking, how much did that cost?
Right.
Right. Or like, what should I be? But because it gets your community talking to each other, right? And it also gives referrals and all the great stuff that comes with community.
Yeah.
But it also gives the homeowner or renter, it gives them an actual perspective on what it would take and what it could potentially cost.
Yeah. A little bit of framework for them to operate off of. Are there any red flags that you see in the handyman world that maybe you could give us some nuggets that could educate a homeowner to help them stay out of a bad situation?
Yes. No money up front.
Yeah.
What we do as a handyman service is we front all materials. If we start getting in, the $5,000 range of materials, we may ask for a percentage up front. And it's normally like 20%, which is nothing compared to other guys like to go in and say, yeah, you're paying for materials. This is how much materials is. And we need half labor up front. And I get that for bigger projects. But if it's a handyman, honestly, they should be structured enough to front a $500 project,
Right.
or a $750 project as far as labor, materials. When I shout out to all handyman out there, if you're doing your thing, hopefully you're legit as far as being registered with the state, have your general liability insurance, all the other stuff. And if you're living job to job, feel free to reach out to me and we can talk about how to get out of that, because that's not a service. You're using people at that point. So I forgot what the question was.
Oh, it's all good. It was the any red flags that stand out. And I think cash flow, understanding like, okay, wait, we're talking about a faucet repair or something here. Like you're asking for material cost up front. That would be some sort of red flag. But then also is there any others? Like you nailed on two huge ones for us. Like there's simple things that contractors can do. That one of the easiest is look up, go to the Secretary of State, see if that is a registered business. Mm-hmm. And it's, even if the business name itself doesn't pop up, it's a conversation starter. Hey, I did search for your business license in the state. I didn't see it. Oh, it's because we're registered under our whatever. Okay, understood. Are there any other red flags that you see? You mentioned insurance as well. I know that's another huge one, especially handyman all the way up to big projects. Like you got to be insured. Anything else that you can think of?
Availability. And trust me, there's times where if I'm on site and it's small enough and I'm doing a walkthrough, I can change a faucet in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, right? Depending on the situation. But if they're, say you hire a guy or you have a guy come through, he looks at your deck and says, yeah, I can demo it and rebuild it and I'm available tomorrow. Okay, there's a reason why he's available tomorrow.
Right.
But trust me, there's times where I have openings in my schedule where we can get to it. But
it's a grain of salt rule. It's hey, be a little more cautious, right? If all of a sudden their business name isn't showing up as filed, they're available tomorrow, you asked about insurance and they kind of brushed it off or moved on to something else. Okay, maybe now these red flags together present one big red flag.
Well, that and just if they can get on site tomorrow, as the homeowner, let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Right.
I say, okay, well, I am weighing my options. I do have other people coming through. And another red flag is if you let guys know that. They're like, okay, well, say it was $750. Now it's $500.
Gotcha.
And it's like, you're bartering with yourself?
The eroding price point.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So those are tough, because as a homeowner, they want it done in a timely manner and they want it the most cost effective for them. Right. So I get that. But at the same time, you pay for quality.
Yep.
So
yeah, I can imagine too. There's no trade license for handyman. You can declare you're a handyman and you're good to go. It takes some skill set that that's been vetted, and Google reviews and online presence, all that kind of stuff comes in. So that's something to consider as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. One thing we kind of glossed over that it's kind of dawning on me is, being service-based business, you're going to have a service area. Where do you travel to and from? What's your service area?
Yeah. So we're in the Denver metro area. As of right now, we don't go to Fort Collins and we don't go to Colorado Springs. But we go out to Evergreen, Conifer, and we go all the way out to DIA area.
Nice.
Yeah, Green Valley Ranch, Brighton. So yeah, we pretty much, we're there.
Yeah, you got all Denver Metro pretty locked down and into the foothills. Cool.
Yeah.
My last question for you that I really wanted to be sure that I got out was, because you work so much with the homeowners, I want to know, how can you work with contractors? Is that a relationship that you get brought in on? We were discussing a project earlier where some guys were just short on some hands, and it sounds like you were able to help out. So maybe I have two more questions, because that's one of them. So I'll give you the opportunity to answer that one.
Yeah. No, that's great. And that's something that I need to be able to communicate with most people, is like, we are a handyman service, but we're also a general maintenance service. So we have 3 operating buckets that we run, and that's the homeowner. That's, we hear you're a handyman service.
Right. Yep.
And then there's the project managers, where that's more of the general maintenance. So we do take care of rental properties, multifamily units, single family units. And then there is I like to call it the realtor market group. And that's where we do a lot of turnover, market ready projects as well. So we operate in all 3 of those facets. And each one of those buckets overflow into each other, so that way we can serve abundantly. The residential pours into the project management bucket, because that's normally a 30 to 45 day net pay turnaround, right? And then vice versa. And then, so yeah, we serve abundantly as far as not just residential.
Awesome. That's cool, and plays right into what we've got going on over here. With one, we have the contractor base, but then also we have our new real estate arm. So we have another group of around 20,000 members that's all real estate based, wholesalers, lenders, investors, realtors, and all that. So I'm very excited to get you in front of that audience, because I know they're going to need, that half of them already reached out and need something from us. So I'm sure your name will be coming up quite a bit. And you've got the chance to meet Pat over at Evernest, one of our sponsors, property management company. So we're keeping the ball rolling with them. He'll actually be here later today, and we're going to just keep chipping away at how do we work together more efficiently. So yeah, man, that's all awesome. Are there any tips? Like, is there anything when you're going through a home, and this is almost a selfish question as a homeowner, is there anything you walk into where you're like, man, with proper maintenance, I wouldn't have been needed here?
Yeah. Bathrooms, always checking around where it's sealed around the tub, or if you have a shower. Those are high traffic water areas, right? So just making sure that it's properly sealed. Just so you guys know, most grout is sand based. And I don't know if anyone's ever been to a beach, but if you stand in the water and the water comes in and you're standing there, and as it pulls out, what happens? That sand goes from under your feet, and because it's porous. And so most showers have sanded grout that needs to be sealed at least every couple of years, in my opinion. Because people are like, oh no, man, it's sealed, it's grouted, tile sealed. And it's like,
right.
No, there's still water that can, get back there, but also just around the vanities, checking the toilets. If you have older valves, gate valves, those got to get updated. Just because, not if, but when something happens and you go to shut off the water supply and it comes off in your hand because you hadn't checked it, and since you moved in 30 years ago, then you're at a bigger issue.
Yeah.
Right. So those are definitely tips. Check under the sink, because everyone has disposals and their dishwasher and everything running through that same drainage.
Yep.
it only takes one seal to go bad for there to be, and then next thing you know, I'm rebuilding the bottom of their cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I just found it. And it's like, well, this has been this way for a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We, in my home, the faucet, when you pull it down for the extended, shower arm or whatever you want to call that thing, there's a weight on the bottom, right?
Banging around.
Yeah. Well, the weight drops directly on top of one of our pipes and will separate it.
Oh, yeah.
And so it feels like every few months I come or get a text from my wife. Kitchen's flooded. What's going on? Under the sink, there's water. I'm like, I know exactly what it is without even putting eyes on it. And so maybe I'll get you out there and do a little more permanent repair for me.
Yeah, no, we could definitely do that. Yeah, under the sink is a big one. Checking your bibs, your outside bibs, just to make sure. And a lot of people don't understand or don't know that they can have isolation valves for their bibs when they go to winterize them. Sometimes people just have constant pressure going towards them, and then when they freeze, boom.
Right.
So
that's good. I feel like there's a whole podcast series here of just asking, like, hey, throughout your week, write down weird stuff you come across.
Well, and
then
like
come
walking
back.
outside, a lot of people don't walk outside. Just do a quick perimeter sweep, look at your trim around your windows, look at your, trim around, just look at your trim for the most part, because like that's what's sealing in a lot of your siding. Take a look at your soffits, take a look at where your gutter is, because if there's any compromises there, water gets in there, and then the faster that we're able to address it, the less it's going to cost you in repair, if not replacement.
Yeah. That's all good info, man. It's getting the wheels turning. Maybe there is a podcast in here somewhere, or at least, video blogs or some quick snippets of, even you on a job site, social media posts, something of, hey, just walked in on this bad situation, could have been avoided by doing this, this, and this. I'll update you as we repair. I guess something like that could be really awesome video content. Man, thanks for coming on today. I know it's taking time out of the middle of your day. I know you got a lot going on, but thank you for coming and being a part of Contractors of Colorado as a whole. It means a lot to me to have somebody as a preferred contractor. And so to have you leading the handyman category is awesome for us. Anybody that I've sent over, you've taken care of. So thank you for that.
Yeah. No, thank you for the opportunity to serve. And any way that we can serve and help, whether, we're relationship based, right? So even if it's not handyman stuff, it's community building stuff.
Absolutely.
Any way we can connect and be a resource.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to do.
Well, you're a frequent flyer at our contractor meetup on the third Tuesday of each month here at the Business Foundry, 7 a.m. Contractors only meeting. So thank you for supporting that. Before we wrap this thing up, I want to kind of kick the ball your way and say, is there anything else you wanted to get across to this audience today?
Yeah. At the end of the day, like I said, we're all relationship based. And when it comes to anything that we can offer, whether it's just a walkthrough, and we can do those preventative checks and build, like I call them, wish lists. And then we can get a priority line items of priority, and we work with a lot of people's budgets. We're called here to serve. So there's times where we serve and take care of some things. And the biggest thing is talk to your neighbors, find out where your neighbors, if you see the old lady down at the end of the block, check in with her, see how you can serve.
Yeah.
See how you can serve in your own community, and we can be a resource for that as well. You can call us in and we'll do a walkthrough and serve at that capacity as well. But really empowering people to serve in their community, because if that were your mom or grandma, how would you want them to be treated? How would you treat them? Whether it's your dad or grandpa,
Right.
But just get in your community, serve, and anyone can do it. You don't have to be a handyman. to do that. You can just be a person that wants to give back to their community.
Yeah. So I think that's a perfect note to end on. Serving your community, it's a big mission of ours. It's kind of one of those pillars of ours is we want to give back to the contractor communities, specifically where we've dove in, but it gives back to the homeowners. It's, we get to place high quality individuals and businesses like yourself in their homes and take away a little bit of that worry and that trust barrier that they experience a lot of times. But yeah, man, I'm all about it. Any way that we can help you, I'm game for. It's give back to your community. I think that's a perfect note to end on here. So thanks for coming. We're going to give one last shout out to our sponsors, to the Builders Outlet, cabinets, doors, windows trim, and a custom mill. They are in Denver. So Contractors of Colorado, reach out, tell them we sent you, and Builders Outlet will take care of you, I promise. And then to the Business Foundry, one of our main supporters. They've done so much for us, including hosting through here in this podcast room so that we can have these awesome interviews and podcasts with all of our clients and everybody else that we know in this sphere. Thank you to everybody who's a supporter of us. We will see you next time. All right, bye everybody.